Hello all, welcome to online SAP ABAP training. Today in the very beginning class we are going to see what is ERP, what is SAP, what is ABAP, and we'll see a few more concepts.
ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning. So enterprise means any company. So how well you can plan resources in your organization. So for example, your organization has 1,000 employees, but assume you have only 500 computers. Then what you will do? You will plan your employees into 2 shifts so that their productivity will be more. Similarly, this ERP is nothing but a software solution. This software solution, once you implement in your company, it will give you optimizing or better ways of handling your resources. So once you implement this ERP solutions in your company, so this can give you the better way of handling the resources in your company. There may be different types of resources. Generally, raw materials, I'll call it as resources. Say for example, one manufacturing company is there. For that company, raw materials are resources. Maybe any other company also will be having human resources. So all these resources, whatever it may be, how to organize them, so that can be better way or better optimized when you implement this ERP solution. So this ERP is a software solution. There are different products available for this ERP in the market. Something like assume you want to buy a Hyundai car. Hyundai has a different products, right? So Hyundai has even i20, it has even i10, it has something like Santro, it has a Verna, it has a different variants. Similarly, ERP has different variants. So ERP has something like Oracle applications. There is something called Microsoft Dynamics. There is something called PeopleSoft. These are all ERP products, and SAP is also one of the ERP products which is very leading in the market, which is having very much demand in the market. So what is SAP standing for? SAP stands for System Application and Processing. Sorry, System Application and Product. It's not processing, product in data processing. So SAP is one of the product of ERP. So what are all the advantages are there in ERP? All the advantages are there in SAP. But when compared to other ERP products, SAP is having better advantages. The thing is, the first advantage in SAP, why SAP is a market leader? Because SAP integrates all the modules. The first advantage is integration. Integration is very well done and very well managed in SAP. So all other Microsoft or Oracle or PeopleSoft, all these products, they also have an integration, but it's not well managed. But in SAP, data integration is very good. Whatever the data you maintain, SAP will do so many validations. So your data is consistent, your data is very secure in SAP. Second one is SAP available in different languages. So many languages SAP will support. So all international languages like English, German, Japanese, Chinese, all these languages SAP will support. So that is another advantage. Say for example, today you develop a program in English language or ABAP In ABAP only you develop all the programs, but if you develop a program, then easily you can translate that program into some another language person. For example, I develop a program for German persons, easily I can translate them for Chinese, and Chinese can look into their language, the input fields or whatever. We will see more about this when we go further. So these are all the main advantages. So integration, data consistency, languages, different language support, all these are the advantages of SAP. So even though the installation cost of SAP is little more, so these advantages are making SAP like market leader, even though the software installation cost is little more. Nowadays the software cost is also coming down. So earlier the licensing cost is very high. Nowadays licensing cost is also coming down. So even though the cost is a little bit more when compared to other technologies, then SAP is becoming market leader because of these advantages. So now what is ABAP? ABAP stands for Advanced Business Application Programming. Advanced Business Application Programming. This is a 4th generation programming. Like there was before this ABAP, the programming was into COBOL, and it was improved a little bit, and then finally in the 4th generation, the final full-fledged ABAP which we are using right current days. So that particular syntaxes, everything was developed. So in SAP there are different modules. Basically we have a MM module. You might have heard SAP MM module, SAP SD module, or whatever. There are different modules are available in SAP. All the modules are written in ABAP language. So I will say ABAP is a language. It's a programming language. It's not a module. Something say ABAP module. So no, ABAP is a language. It's not a module. So in this language, all the other modules like MM, SD, FICO, HR, whatever in SAP, what are all the modules are there? All the modules are written in ABAP language. Now again, if some fresher is there, they will get a question: what is a module? Why module is required? So, for example, take a business, any business. For example, a cement producing company is there. So to produce a cement, there are some raw materials are required, or they need some raw materials, or they have to manage some materials. To manage all these materials, there will be some department in the company who will look after all this material management things. So that is, assume that department is called material management department, and one more department will be there to look into the production, so how the cement is getting produced. One more department will be there in the same company to take care of the financial activities. One more department may be taking care of the sales activities. To support all these business activities, SAP came up with different modules. So that means to support sales activities, for example, SAP has SAP SD module. Say for example, in a company, if you are doing some sales activities, if you want to maintain the data in SAP, SAP has a module called SD. So now SD module in technical way, what I will say is this SD module may be containing some set of programs. So tomorrow if somebody asks what is the SD module, the SD module is nothing but a set of programs. Our MM module is also nothing but a set of programs which are created or which are developed in ABAP language. So these modules, any module you take, so that is nothing but a set of programs which are developed in ABAP language. So as a ABAP consultant, after learning this course, tomorrow some SD consultant is in trouble. He is not able to find debugging or something. Some problem is there in SAP standard program. So you might be going there and debugging the things and try to explore more and give your suggestions to them. So that's what you are going to be like, because all these modules are developed in ABAP language. So you should be able to understand how the programs are written. For this, actually no need to learn all the modules. You just need to learn ABAP so that you can know the technicality behind all these modules. No need to have a functional knowledge to learn ABAP. You just need to know the technicality, how you are accessing the tables or how you are writing the syntaxes. If you know, then you can help the functional consultant. Anyway, the functional consultants will be knowing the remaining functional details. So hope now it is clear what is a module. Module means it's nothing but a set of programs which are written in ABAP language. So any questions till now? So now what we discussed is what is the ERP, what is SAP, right? So and what is ABAP briefly. Hope till now it is clear. If you have any questions or any feedback, let me know. So then if you don't have any questions, we will go further for the next topic, the how to implement SAP in your company. So the next small topic which I am going to discuss is how to implement SAP in your company. So I have a money, so I had some business. It doesn't mean that I should have a SAP knowledge. For example, you can also start a business tomorrow. As of now, you don't have any ABAP knowledge or SAP knowledge. You have started a business. You want to implement SAP in your company. What are all the things you should take care? Will you give me any feedback? Like if you want to start, if you want to implement SAP in your company, first what you will do? Assume you don't have any SAP background. Any feedback for me? Make the session, make the session interactive so that you can yeah, yes, there is something from Sudha, I think. Yeah, tell me, Sudha.
SAP Access.
SAP Access we should get. Okay. Anything before that?
What modules will be useful for the business?
Correct. Before that, SAP Access you said. That's good point. But Access means how you will get it. You have to get the software, right?
Yeah.
So first point is you have to get the license of SAP. So when you are trying to do a business, you have to get the license from SAP. You know, there is a well-known company. SAP is a company which is a German-based company, and this company will provide a software licensing to implement SAP. Assume you went to this company. Assume you went to SAP. So in India, you have this company, in Bangalore also you have this company located in Delhi, Gurgaon. So you went to this company, you have consulted these people, and you told them that I'm going to implement SAP in my company. please let me know what is the process. Then what these people will do is, these people will listen your business process and they will suggest you to go with the version. SAP has a different versions. Right now we have ECC 6 in some companies, or some patches available with ECC 7.4 and so on. So now assume SAP will suggest, okay boss, if you want to implement this business in your company, purchase the license for ECC 6. ECC 6 is nothing but a version. Something like Windows has versions, right? Windows has also Windows XP, it has Windows Vista, has Windows 7, now Windows 8 is there. In the same way, SAP also has different versions. Prior to ECC 6, we was having ECC 5, right? Then then before ECC 5, we were having 4.7 EE. Before this, we were having 4.6C. When I'm learning SAP, I started with 4.6C. Then before that, 4.6B is there, and so on. There are so many other versions were there. But in 99% of the cases, SAP will suggest to go with the latest version of the SAP product which is available in the market. So SAP may suggest you to go with the ECC 6 or higher version. Assume you purchased a license, you came back to your company. Now what is the next step? Something like you have a license now. For example, if you are installing some software from internet, what you will do? You double click on the software, you say run, you will install, right? So now similarly, you have a license or you have a software with you. Now you need to install the software in your computer. Broadly, I will say now you need to install the software in your company. Who will do this? There are someone called SAP Basis guys. Have you heard SAP Basis?
Yeah.
So these people are responsible. Like these people know how to install SAP in your company, how to integrate systems, system health check. These people are also responsible for authorizations. Nowadays there is some other module called SAP Security, but that also comes into the basis basically. So who, like an MM consultant should not have authorization for developing a report. So what kind of authorization, which people should have, this basis consultants will take care of. So now what you need to do, you have a business, so you need some basis consultants. So recruit 2 basis consultants, for example, in your company. Basis consultants will come and install SAP in your company. Now you have a software with you. The software is installed. Sorry. For example, you purchased a mobile. Assume you purchased an Android mobile. In the Android mobile, there is some application is there. Gmail app is there. Something like that in your company. Now SAP is there. How to use that app? For example, in your mobile there is some app. Initially when you bought, what do you need to do? You need to configure little bit to that. You need to give some date and time. You need to provide your name, your email ID, your password, everything. After that, the app will configure for your details, and you can access your details. In the same way, once the SAP is installed in your company, you need to do configurations as per your business. For example, your business has a sales activities, so you need to configure your SAP system for your sales activities. For example, you have some material or you have some production related activities, and you need to configure your system. So next step is configure your system to run your business. Who can do this? Who can configure system? Because you don't know, you are a owner of the company, you don't know much about SAP. Who will do this? SAP functional consultants can configure the system for you. So they know the business process. SAP functional, generally how they will become functional consultants. They have some industry exposure. They also have some knowledge in SAP how to implement. So they will configure the system for you. So now the system is ready. Configuration is also there. Each and every business, sometimes what will happen, it has its own requirements. Sometimes what will happen, whatever the configuration which is available in SAP may not be sufficient for your business. SAP has given 100 programs to you. SAP might have given 1000 programs to you. But those 1000 programs are not exactly as per your business requirements. Then what you will do? Assume I need a program to do some transportation or to do to manage some material. So whatever is available in SAP, it's already there, but that is not much useful for me. I want some new set of separate programs. So how can I do that? So here the ABAPers will come into the picture. So now you are the business owner. So as a business owner, what you will do is you will explain the requirement to the functional consultant. So business owners will have a meeting. The first meeting, very first meeting, we'll call it as a kickoff meeting. In the kickoff meeting, project initial start meeting. So the business owner generally speaks with the functional consultants and he will explain the business requirement to the functional consultant. So functional consultant will think, can we do what this business requirement in the existing SAP, or do we need to develop a new set of programs for this? So if you want say for example, if functional consultants are decided to develop new set of programs, then ABAP consultants will come into the picture. So ABAP consultants will again come into the picture here. The previously also we discussed once. Previously I told you that all SAP modules are built in ABAP language. So there also ABAP consultants are useful. Say for example, any module person, if he is getting some bug or if he struck up somewhere, you can debug the program, you can make him understand. That is one job responsibility of ABAP consultant. And now this is the second one. Second one is what? A business requirement has something additional which is not available in standard SAP. So there also you have to work, you have to create a program and you have to give it to the functional consultant. Functional consultant will use those programs to implement business. So that is the next uses. Okay, so this is another job scope of ABAP consultants and so on. So this is generally the process which will happen in any company, like any business generally starts implementing SAP like this. First one is they purchase the license and then they recruit a basis consultants, then they recruit functional consultants and then ABAP consultants. This will be the process. But generally what will happen in ideal scenarios, a company will not recruit all these people. The company will give this project to another outsourcing company. For example, I have my own company. Instead of recruiting all these people, what I will do, I will give this project to Accenture or Wipro or Infosys. So those people, Infosys people, will implement this project to me. So I will not recruit the employees directly. Infosys will recruit employees and they will work for me. And I will pay amount to the Infosys and Infosys will pay amount to their employees and so on. So that is how the general scenarios will run in the industry. Okay, so these are all the basic steps or basic business scenario you need to understand before we start up. Because okay, we are learning about, that's okay, we are developing programs, but why we are doing this is how the requirement is. So this is why you are doing the ABAP programs. So any questions? Can we continue to the next topic? Okay, so we'll continue with the next topic. So that topic is called software life cycle. What is a software life cycle? First point is, in any industry, any kind of software if you are using, it may be SAP, it may be .NET, it may be Java, any kind of software when you are using, this software life cycle will come into the picture. The first very important point is, any requirement, any software life cycle starts with business requirement. So first one is business requirement. So the functional consultants will prepare some documents. So those documents will be called as functional specifications. So for example, my business has some requirement to maintain the data. So I explain my business scenario to the functional consultants. So then these people will document it. These people will write it in a particular document. The document I will call it as the functional specifications. So once the document is a functional consultants, maybe their seniors will be reviewing it. So there will be a review on this. Functional specifications will be reviewed by their seniors. Then after that, second point is technical specification. Technical specifications are nothing but a documents. These are also some documents which can be understandable in technical point of view. For example, you are a ABAP consultant. For you, if somebody says block the invoice, then what do? You don't know what is the invoice, you don't know how to block an invoice, you cannot do anything. Assume you are a very fresh ABAP consultant and I'll come and say block the invoice, then you don't know what is the process to do that. So the functional specification, now it should be converted into another specification or another document, so that in that document ABAP or understandable terminology should be there. So what I will say is, go to this particular table, go to this particular field, and then put a X against to that particular field. All these details I will give in a technical specification. So technical specification is basically, it's a document which is available in, more specifically saying, ABAP's understandable terminology. Functional specification will be having the terminology which is talking about a pure business terminology. Functional specification always has business terminology. Technical specification, what it will do, it will convert the business terminology into technical terminology. Who will do this? Some senior functional or senior techno-functional consultants can do this, who know about the technical and functional knowledge. They will translate. So once a functional requirement is there, functional requirement has to be converted. So senior people can do this, upon which a review will be there. Every stage there will be a review to minimize the errors. So once the technical specification is there, then the next one is coding. So now the ABAP consultants will sit in front of the systems and they will do the coding. Again, after code, there will be a review. Then the next step is testing. Once the code is done, there should be some testing. There are different types of testing available. One is called unit testing. Second one is called functional testing. Then in some companies there are different other tests are there. They will also do the integration testing, regression testing, and so on. But finally there is something called user acceptance testing. So there are various testings are there. Unit testing means unit testing is one which the developer himself will do. For example, I create my program. So after creating my program, I have my own I want to test how this program is working. So that is unit testing. Then functional testing is you will sit with your functional consultant who has given this requirement to you. For example, I am developing a program. Who has given this requirement to me? The requirement is given by some functional consultant. So I will sit with that functional guy and I will test it. So that is called functional testing. Then the next kind of testing is user acceptance testing. That is end user, the business owner and the functional consultant, they will sit together and they will test it. Once everything is done, finally there is something called go live. So go live means generally it's a date on which your program will be available in business system. Why I have done this program? To do some business, right? So go live means it's a date on which your program will be kept in the business system. With your program, some business process will be done. After this, there is something called support. There is something called support. Say for example, support activities will be there for every industry. For example, you take a Airtel SIM. Tomorrow you get some trouble, then you will call to Airtel customer care for support. Right? In the same way, because you have implemented SAP, you have some reports. You are running your business in SAP. You have some trouble. You always call support, and support people will help you to solve your business problems. This is what called software lifecycle. Not only in SAP, any language you take, any industry like Java or .NET related industries, this is common everywhere. Not only for SAP. You're gathering the business requirement and then convert it into technical related documentation, coding, testing, go live and support. When we talk about SAP, there is something called ASAP methodology. ASAP methodology, I will call it as accelerated SAP methodology. The same steps, whatever I have written, the same steps, ASAP methodology also discussing about the same thing, but little bit different words we are using here. The first step here is also business requirement. Second step is blueprint. Third step is realization. Fourth step is testing, go live and support. Same thing more or less what I have discussed here. First one is business requirement, that means gathering the business requirement is the first point. Second one is blueprint. You make all the documentation, not only the business requirement related documentation, also it's a kind of documentation or agreement between two companies. For example, my company, I want to implement SAP. Accenture is dealing this project. So in the blueprint stage, my company and Accenture will have some agreements. So I will ask the Accenture how many people are working in this project, how many managers are there, if some risk is there, then how you will avoid it, what is the cost of this project. All these things will be documented and both the parties will sign on the particular document in the blueprint level. Then the realization will start. Realization means preparing the technical specification based on the business requirement, coding, and developing some program. So these parts are called realization parts. Once the realization is done, then you have something called testing, go live, and support. So basically SAP methodology also speaks about the same thing which is available in software lifecycle. But sometimes when you go to industry interviews, in interviews they may ask like what is SAP methodology. SAP methodology consists of this. Maybe later today you try to Google SAP methodology. So whatever I am saying here is very crisp point or very basic point of SAP methodology. There is lot of things. If you are really very much interested, then just Google it out to get some more details of this SAP methodology. But for the interview point of view, this is more than enough. Like if you can able to tell gathering the business requirement, blueprint, realization, testing, go live, support, that is okay. And then any ABAPer, he will involve from this realization stage. If you are an ABAP consultant, you will not be participating in business requirement. You will not be participating in the blueprint. You will be participating from realization stage onwards. So you can say in your interview that I'm there from the realization stage onwards. I'm developing some programs. So this is what about your software lifecycle and SAP methodology. So any questions? We will handle it. Otherwise, we'll go to the next topic. Today, totally it's a theoretical part, but tomorrow onwards, totally we are dealing in the system. So we are not doing this much theoretical things from tomorrow onwards. Tomorrow onwards, we will completely logging into SAP system. We are trying to develop small programs and all. But today, because it's a very introduction class, we just want to give you all the background, then we'll start with developing the programs. So shall we go ahead with next topic?